Many people get this story confused. They think about, the Jews against the Greeks, the few against the many, and all this, that's the common story. If you read through the book of Maccabees, you read the real story and really what it's about. It's mentioning the righteous indignation against the Hellenization of the people of Israel, who were the majority, versus the minority group, the Judah the Maccabee, the Mattithiau, the father, and all this, who stood up against the doing away with the observance of the Torah commandments, circumcision, reading Torah, the desecration of our holy temple, etc., etc., etc. And this was a priestly family, by the way. The Maccabees were a priestly family. And they were a renowned family that moved from Jerusalem, and they saw the destruction of the temple. They witnessed it, and they were discouraged. They moved to Modi'in, just north of Jerusalem, northwest of Jerusalem. And as they were, getting away from the whole conflict, the conflict came to their doorstep, and they needed to make a stand. They had to make another stand for righteousness, not just to keep Torah, not just to keep observance, not just to be devout men of God, but they had to make a very important decision. A ruler from the Greeks came and told them, because you're a righteous family, because you're a renowned family and everybody listens to you, we're asking you to desecrate yourselves, basically, and to perform a sacrifice to their gods in order to show alliance to Greece. And this was the final straw. And Mattithiau, the father, says no. And there was a Jew amongst the crowd that freaks out and says, "Oh, no, I'm going to do it. I'll do it." He steps in and takes the place of Mattithiau, the father, and says, "No, I'll do it. I'll sacrifice this animal." And he goes to try to sacrifice the animal. And this is where Mattithiau had a moment of truth. Am I going to be zealous for God? Am I going to make a stand that's going to cost me my life and my family's life, my community's life? Or do I just let it go? He couldn't let it go. He went over to the soldier that came to deliver the message from the Greeks, took his sword, slaughtered the Jew, slaughtered the soldier and the messengers that came to him to get him to compromise, and basically said, forget about it. This is it. And thus the revolt began. Thus the fight for the righteous against the unrighteous. There's no difference today in Israel's society. There's a battle between those who want to fear God and keep His covenants, and those who say it's all good. We just have to be accepted by the nations. We need to be like the nations. We don't need to be different. We're just like everyone else. That's the real story of Hanukkah. So when you celebrate Hanukkah and you light these candles, I want you to realize that you're basically participating in a service to remember and commemorate the righteous holy stand for Torah observance and keeping the covenants of God in this beautiful holy city of God, Jerusalem, versus those who wanted to be secular and like everyone else. Hanukkah is a celebration and a commemoration that God allowed the righteous, the pure, against the impure. Those who defiled themselves with idols, those who defiled themselves with the system of the world, with the society of the world, versus those who took a holy stand for righteousness and for the truth of God's word and the observance of God's holy Torah and His covenants that He gave Israel to keep as an eternal covenant between Him and His people Israel. That's what Hanukkah is all about. It's a celebration that God's covenant is true. He will keep His word, and He will keep His people, and especially those who want to keep His covenants. So that is what Hanukkah is all about. I wanted to share that with you because I know there's many theories out there, many ideas, many popularizations of the holiday. But really, it's not just a holiday. It's a commemoration of what God did and what He's going to do for those who keep covenant with Him. God bless you, and Chanukah Sameach from the beautiful holy city of Yerushalayim. Shalom.